The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, Kaduna State University chapter, has issued a 2-week ultimatum to the university authorities and relevant stakeholders to begin full implementation of the 2025 Federal Government-ASUU Agreement, warning that failure to act could lead to a total and indefinite strike. The union says more than 200 lecturers have left the university, including professors, associate professors, PhD holders, and other experienced academics, citing poor remuneration and unfavorable conditions of service. ASUU-KASU Chairman Dr. Abubakar Abdullahi said the agreement, which took effect in January 2026, is yet to be implemented or domesticated at KASU.
Meanwhile, last week, ASUU authorized 20 university branches to begin processes that could lead to industrial action over the alleged failure to implement the 2025 agreement with the federal government. The affected branches have been directed to issue 14-day ultimatums to their university authorities to address outstanding demands, with failure to resolve the issues potentially leading to strikes. The
Federal State University and Imo State University have already commenced indefinite strikes over grievances, including unpaid entitlements and other outstanding issues. We're now joined by ASUU President, Professor Chris Piwuna, who joins us this morning. This strike is looking like one that is, well, some would say it's not too clear, some would say it's clear, some would say it's rife.
The dark clouds are hanging.
Yeah, that isn't it counter-productive with what had happened? But to start this entire conversation, has ASUU met with the federal government to solve these issues? The last time you spoke to us, you said you were going to have a meeting
that weekend. So
let's take it from there. What came out from that meeting?
Well, thank you very much and good morning.
Good morning to you.
I'm glad to be here once again, and we appreciate as a union the opportunity you always give to us to explain to Nigerians where we are on some of these issues. When I was here about 2 weeks or so ago, I informed you that we're going to have a meeting. The meeting was not going to be with the federal government. The meeting was going to be our own meeting, a neck meeting of all our branches to take reports from the branches as to the implementation of this 2025 agreement. And it was the outcome of that meeting that gave over 20 universities. There are actually over 20 universities. I think there are about 20 state universities, but we have federal universities of agriculture that have not been paid the new salary yet. So they are also included in this strike permission that we gave to our members. Some of the federal universities have actually also commenced strike. So it's not only the state universities. I think Federal University of Agriculture, Makurdi, has already commenced strike because they had given their ultimatum much earlier. And the issue of the federal universities fall within our earlier decisions that if salaries are delayed into the new month, branches could take action. So they've already started their strike, and that's where we are right now. We have not met with the federal government on these issues because ultimatums have just been issued. State universities have received the ultimatums. Those that have not given the ultimatum, and that's the point where we are. But maybe let me add here that since we gave the ultimatum, some state governments have responded and have signed an understanding with our branches to implement the 2025 agreement. The Plateau State government has signed. There is approval now by the governor of Plateau State for Plateau State University to be paid the new salary structure. We have similar instructions from the Vista of Adamawa State University. We have, as at yesterday, 2 other states have also given approval. In fact, Abia State University, the governor has given approval for the immediate commencement of the 2025 agreement, not immediate, from September of this year. That's next month.
Professor Piwuna, in our opening statement, we did share the situation with regards to Kaduna State University. How many federal universities happen to be in the same position with regards to conditions of service and welfare of staff? Because this administration, since its inception, one of the things it's very proud of is that ASUU hasn't gone on strike. Does it mean that all is well? And is KASU just, is it an exception, or we have many universities in the same condition as the Kaduna State University?
Thank you very much. We had a press conference Friday last week, and in the press conference, we're telling your colleagues that we heard that the President Ahmed Bola Tinubu has said that God has answered his prayers and that there's no ASUU strike. And we said it is true, but that he needed to pray harder because there are members of his government that are frustrating our agreements with government, and that if that continues, it would appear that his prayers would be short-lived. And why I'm saying this is that the overall implementation of the agreement has been, at best, shoddy. It's been haphazard. Some are doing it, some are not doing it. We have people who are on sabbatical that are not being paid their full salary, and the only reason the bosses or vice chancellors of those universities are giving is that they are on sabbatical. That tells you that the implementation is generally, not not clear. It's not going well in virtually all our universities. And when we gave these 20 or so universities permission to go declare an ultimatum, if there's no response from their governments, they should proceed on an action. We also added that we will be coming to review the entire state of this agreement at the end of this August. And we have chosen the end of August because we expect that if the federal government, that has also not been implementing the agreement fully, realizes that they have this window, they can make things happen. They can get the agreement implemented fully in those universities, federal universities, where our members are not being paid. And we've just held back. That's why we gave only 20 universities. But when we come back in about 2 weeks or so, I think there may be a decision that may be more encompassing, that may involve more universities, and in this case, more federal universities. But let me not move on from this matter without emphasizing the fact that we have received positive responses from some state governments, and we commend those state governors who have moved quickly to implement this agreement as a result of the ultimatum that has been given. I've mentioned a few of them, and we hope that many more will follow suit.
Okay, so what do we need as a matter of fact? What are the immediate next steps that you require to ensure that this ultimatum will not be necessary?
One of the problems that we have with our Nigerian leaders is that when you raise a problem, when you raise a flag that there's a problem here, they pretend as if they can't see that flag. They just keep moving until things get to a head. So some states now, they've been given two weeks ultimatum. They will not talk to our branches. They will not try to solve this problem until the 13th, 12th, or even the 14th day. Then they start moving around as if they just woke up from sleep. If states could respond the way Adamawa State has responded, the way Plateau State has responded, the way Abia State Governor has responded, and a few others, very few others, then we are likely going to see stability in our institutions. But if they don't, we would have to take action. And you see, this issue that concerns our welfare, we find it very painful that when our union challenges government to send more funds to the universities, and we succeed, the universities are eager to receive these funds that our union has gone to fight for. But when it comes to the welfare of our members, these same visitors, state governors, they turn the other way, their eyes. There is no state university that has not received over 600 million naira in the last 2 months. None. As a result of the struggle of our union, where some of the universities, some state governors will go and establish 4 state universities, 3 state universities. How are you going to fund those universities? They create the problem, and when we draw their attention, they won't even listen to us. But this is where we are. We hope that more states will listen and there will be no further action. But I can assure you that when we meet in 2 weeks' time, we are going to review all of this and chart the way forward.
Okay. Looking at charting the way forward and meeting, what's the next steps for you, for the body, for ASUU itself?
We're engaging with government agencies. We are in touch with Alhaji Ali Ahmed. We're in touch with the Senator Larry Tejesho, whom we commended for his efforts as chairman of the Implementation Monitoring Committee. These are the people that midwifed this agreement. We're in touch with them, and they are also, I believe, working behind the scenes to ensure that when we meet in 2 weeks' time, the outcome would not affect our students or the system negatively. Senator Tejesho has actually informed us that he has contacted the chairman of the Governors Forum, I think the governor of Kwara State, whose state is also involved in the non-implementation of the agreement. So he has contacted him, and we hope that the state universities would have a very positive response from their visitors. But we also have problems with some vice chancellors, particularly vice chancellors of Imo State University, vice chancellors of Abia State University. Abia State, as you are aware, as a result of this action, have suspended a professor because he raised the same concerns that have led to this action. And we think that this suspension is directly linked to the action that we've embarked on in Abia State University. So if the Abia State government is desirous of a stable calendar in its institution, they should call that vice chancellor to order. This man did not say anything that is not known to everybody. He is not lying. He hasn't said anything that is untruthful. He has just laid bare the facts of academics in Abia State University. And to think that the Abia State government has agreed that there is a problem and they are solving it, I wonder how the vice chancellor of that university feels, having suspended a professor for saying things that the state government has admitted and are working on it. So I think the vice chancellor should immediately work towards the recall of that Professor Nweze back to work.
Now, finally, Professor Piwuna, if you can, in less than 2 minutes, we'd appreciate. We've seen this back and forth between, since the military days. I recall when I was growing up in my secondary school days, it's ASUU versus government. And it's almost a never-ending story. And in the course of that, we've seen the proliferation of universities. There are private universities, there are even fake universities in different corners of the country. They say Nigerians are resilient people. When there's bad road, you buy an SUV. And when the universities are going on strike now, most parents, what they think is send my word to a private university. Don't you think that if ASUU continues on this path of, strike and no strike, you do have valid reasons for your strike, that we might just end up in a situation where nobody wants to go to a state or federal university, and it will be the end of tertiary university, government-funded university in Nigeria?
Well, at the beginning of this interview, you talked about Kaduna State University losing about 200 staff. You ask yourself, why have we lost that number from Kaduna State University? Basically, one of the reasons why we're losing more is the recruitment method into teaching and lecturing in the universities. When you and I were in the university, we had people, our lecturers that were, this fellow made the first class, that's why he's lecturing. You had youth corpus that took us tutorial, and out of their sheer commitment, dedication, love for the job, they became lecturers. Right now, that is not the case because politicians have literally flooded our universities with their constituents in the name of giving them jobs. And so the desire to remain in that area is not there. It's not something that is coming from inside them. So that has contributed to all this Japa,
brain drain.
Japa and people moving. Some of them are moving to these private universities that you've talked about because they want protected research time. Right now, when I started teaching in the lecturing in the university, we had days. On Thursdays are my research days. I don't do anything. Whether I want to stay at home to read or I want to go to the office to write or whatever I wanted to do, that was how it was. Right now, because lecturers are few in the system, such periods are no longer protected. There are people that desire to do that. And those of us that have remained in the system to continue to draw attention to this abnormality, we just want it to be back to where it is. But people will say they want to go to private universities. Let me tell you, private universities take less than 10% of the entire Nigerian university students. Less than 10%. I heard the NANS leader talking recently, and he was saying they have 21 million members. I know that includes the polytechnics and some colleges of education. But if you consider the fact that only 10% are in private universities, then Benga, we need to do more to protect the 90% that are in public universities. And in protecting them, we must ensure that the system works. We are not interested in going on strike. Believe me, we are happy to. Ask any lecturer in Nigeria, any ASUU member, we are happy about this stability that we have. We are very happy. President Tinubu can take credit, anybody can take credit for it, but we are happy that our calendar has been stable so far. We are very proud of our members that we've been able to keep the system running. And we are saying that in order for the system to continue the way it is now, government will need to do more to ensure that this, our 2025 agreement, is fully implemented. Fully implemented. No aspect is left out. And it is not going to cost them anything really to do that. Nothing at all. The revenue has tripled or quadrupled in the last few years. We are battling with buying fuel every day. We know the revenue is coming. Let government do what they need to do. The system running.
Thank you so much, ASUU President, Professor Piwuna. We hope those in authorities would increase their prayers and do what is needful to avert this threat of an
especially officials of the Ministry of Finance. They need to help.
They're watching. They're in Abuja with you. Thank you so much, Professor Piwuna. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.